Hey everybody, so today I'm here to do a chit chat video with you guys. I've got a list on my phone of the stuff that I wanted to talk to you guys about because it's been a little bit and I do have some stuff to update you guys on. The first thing that has to do with myself is that I scheduled an optometrist appointment and also an OB appointment to go talk to her. And unfortunately, I have no news on that front. She basically told me to come back in 5 weeks and she'd have an answer for me. So looks like in 5 weeks, I'll figure out if I have to find a new OBGYN or if I can stay with her. From talking to a couple different people, I'm hoping that I have a good chance of staying with her. I know I've already talked this to death, so I'm not going to get back into it, but it's coming up on that 5-week mark. I think it's like a week away. So in another week, I have an appointment to talk to her, and I'm excited. I'm excited to know one way or another. Like, I'm not gonna be excited if I can't have her as my doctor, but at least then I'll know. I just feel like I've spent all this time not knowing, and it's driving me crazy. But I also made an optometrist appointment, and surprise, surprise, which it really wasn't to me because I felt like it was, but my one eye got worse, so I did end up getting new frames and stuff, which these are not new. If you watched my day in the life, or if you watch me on Instagram stories and stuff like that, definitely not new. I'm trying to clean them the best I can, but these are my new frames. Oh my gosh, they're so dirty. I talked on Instagram about how I can't find anything decent to clean these with. They drive me crazy. I got both the scratch protection and the anti-glare on them, and it just drives me crazy. So this is what they look like. Obviously not on my face, but I can only find one thing that works, and it just takes a while. Like, I have to be very tedious on how I clean it to make sure it gets cleaned right, and they never stay clean, you know, between kids smashing my glasses into my face or just touching them, me touching them, just, you know, stuff happens, your glasses get dirty. So it's kind of annoying that I have to, like, I feel like constantly clean them. But yeah, both of those appointments are out of the way. Mark's doing good. Nothing really to report on him. I am going to be doing a Q&A with him next month, so if you have questions for us, leave those down below. The girls are doing well, and Remy has actually had a ton of different appointments, and she's got even more coming up. But basically, if you don't follow me on Instagram, the girls had strep, I think it was about a month ago now. And both of them had it, but it was Remy's third time having strep within 4 months. So her pediatrician wanted her to see an ENT for us to talk about that, and you know, the fact that she is getting strep so often. So we went and we saw the ENT, had a well visit because she did turn 2 years old, and then from there we are also going to see an allergist because of her eczema. Remy's eczema has typically always been because of seasonal changes, and the farther that we get into whatever season, the better her eczema becomes, with the exception of sometimes in the winter, but you know, it's just cold and dry out. But this time around, it's not getting better. At times it feels like it does, but then it goes like way worse than what it was. The cream that we were using, it does help, but her skin in some places becoming a little bit more open than just like the scaliness and redness and dryness that she normally has. So because of all this, and because, you know, we've already tried dietary changes with Remy, which, I mean, we still could just not be trying the right things. So that's why we're going to go see an allergist, see if there's something else that may be triggering her eczema, because her pediatrician and dermatologist both feel like something is, because it is not changing at this point. It's only getting worse. And we typically have seen a pretty consistent pattern with her eczema. She's had it ever since she was 6 months old, and that's when she was diagnosed with it. And from there, it's just slowly gotten worse with time. It honestly wasn't bad when she was 6 months old. It was just on her cheeks, and it just came and went with the seasons, like I said. But over the years, it has gotten worse. She now has it in her diaper area. I've talked about that before. But yeah, I will go over all the details between the pediatrician visits, the ENT, the allergist, eczema, everything going on with Remy in her 2-year visit. The allergist appointment is about a week and a half away. I'm not sure when we'll get the results of that, but I was just planning on making that 2-year update probably whenever we get the results back. I'm not going to wait until we can find something that works for her eczema, because I know that even if you do get results from the allergist, it can be a long time coming to find results that work for your kids. So I have joined several Facebook groups and stuff just because I feel like I'll take any and all advice right now, you know, just kind of letting me know what's going on. I don't really know what's going to happen at the allergist. They told us that we could be there for 2 hours, gave us some kind of ground rules for, you know, what to do with her before she comes and stuff, but they really couldn't give specifics until they see her. So I'm kind of curious on like what's going to happen at the allergist. You know, the pediatrician couldn't even really tell us either because it's just like a case by case kind of thing. I am looking for soapless body wash though. If you guys use any kind with your kid, let me know down below. The body wash we've used with Remy has always worked. It hasn't ever irritated her eczema or caused a flare-up or anything like that. It's never really been a problem. But at this point, like I said, since she is having trouble, I want to kind of do what I can and see if maybe switching her to a body wash would help. We already use free and clear everything in the laundry aspect and stuff, which I don't know. I feel like eczema is one of those things where like a consensus is kind of about something, but you always get parents who say, no, you need to go a step farther. And it's always like, I don't know how many step farthers I should take. You know, there's people who say that the free and clear still has stuff in it and you need to get this, but it's very difficult because every case of eczema is so different. But yeah, little Miss Remy has had a little bit going on, but you know, for good reason. We're just kind of sorting everything out. And I will say that the strep and the ENT thing is resolved as of right now. So, you know, you guys will learn more in that update. I just don't want to give everything in this video because I kind of like keeping those updates, even if it's just for us, so I can rewatch things and remember them for later down the line. I just switch legs that I sit on because this left one is like dead asleep. But something else I wanted to mention, because I still get comments and messages about it quite a bit, and especially because I've kind of been mentioning it here and there, and I've had even more comments from that. But we are still really no closer to making a decision about Sophie in preschool. I felt like I was really confident until the time came, and then I was like, I don't know anymore, I don't know. But I think I mentioned it in the last chit chat, or was it a day in the life? I can't remember, but I did mention that we looked into schools around us, and Sophie will have to do 2 years of preschool before she's old enough to enroll in kindergarten in our area. So we're not really sure if we want her to do 2 years of preschool. I know in some places it definitely can't hurt, but we just aren't sure. I do know no matter what, we are definitely getting her into some kind of activities. Not quite sure what that is yet. I kind of want to sign her up for karate in some way, shape, or form. She showed interest in soccer as well, but I know that that's more of like a seasonal sport. I think she'd also do well in dance, but you know, we really haven't made any concrete decisions on those either. But I do know that aside from that, we also do want to enroll her in some type of program, even if she's going a couple or a few times a week, to go be with other kids, being in a learning environment, and kind of getting an understanding of that. And I kind of like this idea because I think it will help her. It won't be such an adjustment to go from being home with mom to straight into, okay, well, you know, you're gonna go here for an X amount basically almost every single weekday. I've mentioned before that the preschool that she's going to be going to, it's either 4 or 5 days a week, just depending on whatever the parents vote on. So, you know, it could be 4 days, it could be 5 days. But either way, I think that might also help her because I don't see her having a problem with it. I wonder if after a little bit, when all of the kind of like newness to that, if that's even a word, kind of wears off, if she'll start to be like, oh, you know, why isn't my mom here? Or, you know, why isn't my daddy here? And stuff like that. So I'm kind of curious how she would do with it, but I also think it just might be a good fit for her to not overwhelm her and to do a few days here and there during the week, and then also have her extra activities as well, because I do believe that all the activities, whether it is dance, karate, you know, soccer, I believe it's later in the evening because most, you know, parents have to come from a job. So I feel like that's a good fit for her. I feel like it will definitely keep her busy enough. It'll keep her active, keep her with other kids, and like I said, just kind of stimulate her in the ways that I feel like she's growing up and she's needing now. But we haven't, like I said, made a concrete decision on it, and I know that we should really be thinking hard about it. But I think neither of us honestly want to admit that she's old enough for this. It's just crazy. It is crazy that she's old enough to even go to preschool, because her preschool will accept her, like, to take her on full time and to, you know, take her into preschool and not just like this random little program that they have. And even then, even if she does like a every now and then kind of program there, it's still like, you know, they're teaching her things and stuff too, just not to the extent or the consistency of obviously enrolling in actual preschool. But it just feels so strange. It feels like we just had her, but you know, Mark and I talk about all the time how like the farther it gets away, the harder it is to picture her as a baby. It's just hard to think back to those times. I feel like she's always been this little person with these opinions and things that she likes and her personality. So it's hard to picture her as a baby, but it does also feel like we had her not too long ago, and it just doesn't feel right to be sending her to preschool. I'm like, no, you're not old enough. Because I just know that from here, time's gonna fly. You know, when they start this, it's like next school year, she'll definitely be in preschool. And then the year after that, she'll definitely be in kindergarten. And don't get me started on all those feels. You know what I'm saying? So it's just a lot to take in as parents, and I think we're trying to push it to like literally the last minute, which I know we shouldn't be doing, but it's just hard. It's conflicting. It's also our first, you know, she's our oldest, so we've never done this before. We've never sent any of our kids to school, so we are first time, whatever that word is, I don't know, sending your kids to school. So it's hard for us, you know. I'm sure other parents probably don't look at it as hard. I'm sure by like the third kid, you're like, all right, thank God you're going to kindergarten. Bye, see ya, you know. I'm sure there's still some feels in there, but you know, I just, it's a hard decision to make. So I know I get a lot of questions on that, but I am literally no closer than when I was when I first originally said stuff to you guys, but I do want to mention it because I do get a lot of comments. And let's see what's next. My list keeps scrolling down, and I keep losing my spot. But oh, I also want to mention that we have been toying the idea of possibly moving the girls in together sooner. I know I've mentioned their shared room quite a bit, and basically right now Rebby is sleeping in her crib perfectly fine. Not a problem whatsoever. The girl lives to sleep, I should say that. She doesn't love to sleep, she lives to sleep. She loves it. She is such a great sleeper. But I am starting to get nervous that eventually she's going to start trying to climb out of her crib. She doesn't strike me as the type. Like I said, she goes there, she will lay down and roll away from me when I lay her in bed. Like, she is ready to go to sleep. And even in the morning, if she wakes up before I get her, which isn't too often, she's still not doing anything other than just laying there. Sometimes she'll be sitting up and playing with her little stuffies that she has, but that's just a super rare occasion. So I feel like she's not going to do it, but we did agree that if she does start climbing out of the crib, we're just gonna move them into a room. So if that happens tomorrow, they'll start sharing a room tomorrow. We're not gonna wait until October. And I've just kind of been thinking about doing it a little bit sooner. It's not necessary, and I'm kind of conflicted on how I feel about it, but they definitely love being with each other. They're also at an age where they can appreciate that too. You know, Sophie's old enough to say, well, where's Remy at? I want to play with Remy. Can we go wake up Remy? And stuff like that. And Remy is actually asking where her sister is now. So to me, that shows that they love being together. And, you know, I don't know, I just kind of want them in the same room as each other. I don't know how to explain it. And it's not a space thing. It's not, you know, anything like that. It's just like seeing their love for each other, and they love being together and stuff. So I know that them sharing a room, it's definitely going to be rough, you know, off the start. You know, it was rough when Sophie went from a crib to a floor bed. We were up trying to keep her in bed and stuff like that. But at the same time, we'll all learn and we'll all get there. It might take a year or two. But I have faith in them, and I don't know. I've just been tempted to move them in earlier than what we were thinking. Also because we have slowly started acquiring stuff for their room. my mom and my stepdad bought quite a bit of stuff for Remy's part of it. They got matching stuff, but then we went and we bought Sophie's stuff so that I didn't have to worry about it being out of stock and having to deal with all that or anything. But we're slowly getting more and more stuff for their room. And basically at this point, we just need the bed, something for their closet, the mattresses, and their pillows, and any decorations that I want. But I haven't really made my mind up on those, so those aren't really concrete. But not a whole lot. We have everything else that we need, and basically all the furniture is going to stay the same aside from adding stuff to it. The stuff in the closet is just for extra storage, and the bunk bed, obviously. I'm also just looking forward to it, you know, getting to pick a different kind of room scheme and go through all that process. I know Mark's not going to look forward to assembling an IKEA bunk bed. He's going to hate that if it's anything like our dresser, but at the same time, I am excited, and I'm hoping that for my birthday, I'll be able to get some IKEA furniture as well, and Mama might be able to get finally a bed set. I don't know if I've ever talked about it before, but Mark and I have literally always had just like a bed frame with a box spring and a mattress, and we are still using the plastic rolly carts that I've had ever since I was like, I can't even tell you how young. They're from IKEA, but they've been discontinued. I got them, they're probably at least 10 years old, if not like 12. I've had it for literally forever, and we've just always used those as our end tables, and I just feel like it is time to adult up, and I want a bed set. That's all I want in my life. Like, Mark thinks it's so silly, but that's really what I want. I want our bedroom to feel like our bedroom, and it's always the room that gets neglected. You know, I'd rather buy stuff firstly for the kids for whatever reason, and then I'm like, okay, well, we spend our most time in the living room though, and then I'll worry about the bathroom just because of, you know, if guests come over, and, you know, I want the bathroom to be nice and whatever. And it's literally always the last thing on the list is our bedroom, and I kind of want to start focusing on that more because it is Mark and I's space, and I really kind of want to embrace that. So I'm hoping that hopefully I can get a bedroom set because they just came out with this new set and I'm in love with it. So yeah, that's just all the room talk that I have for you guys, but I did want to mention it to you. And lastly, the weather is finally starting to get better outside, which is nice. In the Midwest, we have some crazy seasons. It is getting nicer outside, so we are doing more with the girls outside, hopefully going and doing things more. I just filmed a video on like our spring and summer bucket list of like the things that we want to do, and I'm very much looking forward to that. You know, both the girls are toddlers. I feel like they listen to the extent of not hurting themselves. So when we say don't do something, for the most part, they listen. And, you know, I don't have a baby. I'm not gonna like be exclusively pumping or anything. So it's been a lot during the summer. Like when we would go and do things, you know, I would have to pump before and then after. And I know when we went to the zoo, it was like a 5-6 hour affair, and I was still pumping every 3 hours, but I was like, I'll push it, don't worry. But when I got to the car, I was like in pain, like so much pain, and I knew I shouldn't have done that, but I didn't want to stop and pump because you guys know how long it was taking me to pump and stuff, and I just like knew that the kids wouldn't stay content that long, and I was just like, I'll push it or whatever. And it was always hard. I was always having to pump in the car, and it was just exhausting. So I'm really glad that I'm just gonna have like a summer off from that, you know, like my kids are a little bit more grown up now. I'm not gonna have babies and milk coming out of my boobs and stuff like that. So I'm very much looking forward to like having a little bit more of freedom, I guess, this summer to just be with my kids, do the things that they love. I don't know, I'm looking forward to it. And, you know, like I said, everybody's pretty much doing good, you know, feeling better. And hopefully the girls, especially Remy, doesn't get strep over the summer. I'm just hoping that less germs. So hopefully that means she'll catch it less. Hopefully not at all though, like that would be super ideal. I am keeping an eye out on Remy though, because when we went to the pediatrician's office and she was talking about the strep and stuff, she's like, yeah, I had 10 cases yesterday. And I was like, brought my kid with reoccurrent strep issues into the doctor's office and they had 10 cases yesterday. And like, obviously the doctor's office is well kept, they scrub everything down and stuff, but you never know who touched a pen, who touched this, and then my kid's gonna put her hand in her mouth and strep number 5. So hopefully we dodge that bullet and we can continue to dodge it throughout the summer. Like I said, I feel like we'll have answers by the end of May to give a 2-year update on Remy. So you guys will see that in the near future. And I'm gonna get off here so Mark and I can film the last part of our Juvie review. And yeah, I don't know. Just kind of wanted to fill you in, talk to you guys, whatever. I'm feeling a late night chat here soon. I feel like when I do them, like I'll put the camera right here and I talk to you guys and it's late at night and everyone's asleep. I feel like I'm talking to you guys about some of the stuff that's going on in my mind. My camera cut me off, but basically I was going to say that I just haven't been staying up late enough. Normally I was doing those while everybody was asleep because I couldn't sleep. I know that was something that I talked to you guys about that I was having trouble with, and I'm happy to report it's no longer an issue. I go to bed at 10:30 at the latest because I am exhausted. Like, I'm begging Mark to go to bed, and I get up at 7 o'clock in the morning, no problem now. Like, I don't even need to really set alarms anymore, and I'm a lot better. So I haven't done one of those like night chit chats, but I'm feeling like I need to stay up one night because I don't know, I feel like I talk to you guys more about like what's going on in my head and like different kind of motherhood trials I'm going through and stuff like that, and I'm just feeling one of those recently. So I wouldn't be surprised if you get a late night chit chat from me here in the near future. But yeah, like I said, I need to get off here. We need to go film some other things, but I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and as always, thanks for watching.